like I said, always expect bullshit at work. Because then at least if it happens, you're already prepared. I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that. So yeah, never a fucking dull moment. Because everything is going pretty decent, slow for a Monday. And then not long after I got back from lunch, the fucking power goes out. I heard a pop. And then everything just shut off. And I was like, what the fuck is going on now? So apparently our generator went. And, now there's fucking two of them out here begging for fucking money. So of course we had to issue everybody out of the store. Couldn't do any picks as soon as the Wi-Fi shut off. I mean, we could for a little bit, and then just kinda couldn't. So we were zoning in the baking aisle, like the spices and shit. Because spices are a mess. They always get a mess. They can always be a nightmare. So we're doing that. And the power had come back on, but the Wi-Fi was still out. So we're zoning. Finally, the Wi-Fi comes back on. I'm like, oh good, you go back to doing exceptions. And they kept like kind of flickering. And as soon as they waited till it was like stable and let people back in again, I'm trying to catch up all the fucking 130s, and then more 130s were fucking dropping in. And it's all oversized. Whoever was doing oversized was nitpicking the shit out of the stuff. Now, this is where it comes down to, you can tell who's good at a certain job and who sucks ass at a certain job. So whoever was doing it sucked ass. The person that usually does it in the mornings, if it's not on the floor, will actually copy and paste the UPC, put it in the other screen to see if it has a backroom location, and go back and get it himself. Which, personally, I think everybody should fucking do if they do oversized, because those of us who do exceptions can't always lift this shit. And not only that, we can't always find an L cart to put the shit on if it's a fucking TV. Because yes, it was a TV, then a fucking bike, up in the steel, not to where you needed a walkie stacker to get it down, but up high enough to where it was awkward and heavy as fuck. And I feel bad now because I was kind of rude to the bike assembler because I was pissed off at them nitpicking it. And then as soon as I scanned the fucking bike and printed the label, more oversized fucking drop in. And the one thing wasn't even really that big. Yeah, okay, it was a little too big to fit in a tote, but still. And I had to walk all the way back to the other bins to get that out. And then the other ones had no location. I was like, well, guess what? If they have no location, I'm not fucking looking for them. I'm nitpicking them. I'm not fucking with this because I'm really pissed off right now that this person did not come back here and get it if that was their last 130. They could have come back and gotten it and saved me the headache of having to fucking do it and trying to lift the shit. They're lucky I found an L cart, or I would have just left the shit in the fucking bins. Because finding an L cart is like, it is like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. They can all be getting used elsewhere for whatever. So yeah, I got a little pissed off my last hour because I was like, fuck, am I gonna get these damn 2:30s done before I fucking leave? Luckily I did, because there weren't too many of them in there. But holy shit. It ain't never a fucking dull moment. Oh well, at least the day is over for now. Well, that part of it. But yeah, that's a little irritating. And now I'm thirsty as hell. And we're gonna do a random taste test in today's afternoon vlog. So you snooze, you lose. For those who get to see me try for the very first time Sprite with tea, because I've seen the cases of it and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not buying an entire case, because what if I don't like it? Now my work wife don't like it, and I had an order or an exception for one. What was it, Saturday? I think it might have been Saturday. I had an exception for one. And I had no location. And I'm like, well, if it's a 20 ounce, then I know it's going to be up front at the registers in one of the coolers. Because, like, none of the shit's assigned up there. And I was checking every cooler, and I kept getting seeing zero. I'm like, no, they want regular, not zero. And I'm like, the only other place I know where it could be is in the back where all the vendor shit goes, because Coke and Pepsi keep their 20 ounce that go up at the register coolers up in the top bins. That's like, at least I have a ladder on my cart, or if I need to go back there and get it, the only problem is the customer ain't gonna get it cold. Because I'd be getting it out of the back. And then I was like, oh yeah, the Sprite with tea. Almost forgot about that. And so I started looking at the registers before I checked out. And luckily there was one left in the one that wasn't zero. I was like, yeah, because I don't like this. It's better than Diet, but they don't have this in Diet, so. It's weird. I'll drink it, but I cannot say that this is something I would buy an entire case of. It's like lemon lime tea. It's like lemon lime tea with carbonation. I mean, I guess the more I drink it, the more I realize it's really not too bad. I just wouldn't buy a full case of it, no. Definitely not the worst soda I've ever tried. It's not as bad as that Beetlejuice spiced apple shit. That was disgusting. That was the biggest disappointment I've ever had for a flavor that I normally like. I love sour apple stuff, but to spice it the way they did, that was revolting. That was a crime. That is a soda crime right there. This is definitely better than that. Like, I did drink those, but very reluctantly so. Because it's like, you spend that much money on a case of sodas, you really don't want to waste it. And they didn't bring 20 ounces, so that kind of fucks the whole thing over. There needs to be a law. If you make a new soda, you need to bring a 20 ounce along with the cases so people can taste test it that way first. And then if they like it enough, they can go buy a whole case of it. But at least then if they don't like it, they're not wasting money on a case that they don't like. That should be a thing. And I know it's not a soda, but how many of y'all remember Orbit's drinks? This is a millennial thing. With the little balls floating around in it. I don't know why, but those were good. And I freaking miss those. Ferguson and Hassler had those. And that was the first time I tried them. And I was like, when I was working there, I was like, damn, these sticks are good. They're weird, but they're good. They're good weird. I miss those. I really miss those. They also had A-Treat sodas, if anybody... I know they still make A-Treat sodas, but like they're only at certain places. And my favorite was the A-Treat birch beer. That shit was good. The black cherry was actually pretty good too. But the birch beer was really good. Those were cheap. I remember those being like 50 cents a bottle. God forbid we know it ain't that price now, probably. It's probably more than that. Probably double that now. That's probably $1.25. Can't get that shit for cheap anymore, probably. Ugh. But yeah, guess what? There's a new Dorito out. And I already did try it, but we will do a ranking of it on Saturday. It is garlic parmesan. Because workwife got a bag and let me try it. And I let her try the garlic popcorn. I let a few people try it, and some of them are just like, too strong. And I'm like, yeah, but it's good. It's different at least. Like, how many companies make fucking white cheddar popcorn? You got the Walmart brand. You got Smart Food, which is the best. There is a Skinny Pop one. And I know there's a bunch of other brands that have fucking white cheddar. Like, everybody does white cheddar when they do bag popcorn. You'll never beat, nobody will ever beat Smart Food. You know what would be cool, actually? If I pulled a Good Mythical Morning kind of thing and bought each brand of white cheddar popcorn and picked which one was the best. Like, I pretty much already know that Smart Food's gonna be the best, but like, can I really taste a difference if I taste them side by side? And I've never tried the Skinny Pop one. What was the other one? Angie's. There's an Angie's one, and then... Is that it? I know there's the Puff Corn. That's not the same thing. Like, it has to be straight popcorn. And then you could probably include the Jolly Time microwave stuff too. I don't know, man. If you want a nice hot white cheddar popcorn, that's solid for that. Because nobody else does it. Nobody else does a regular cheddar popcorn really either, except for Jolly Time. And Jolly Time's cheap compared to the other microwave popcorns. Well, the other name brands, that is. Orville Redenbacher used to have a pour-over cheddar that it had like a pouch in it, and you just drizzled it over the popcorn. But they never had it in big quantities of it. You'd had to get the small box, and it only had like, what was it, like 3 bags in it? Because not everybody really liked that one. And I think Jolly Time kind of replaced that one because it is basically the same stuff. Although I will admit it's a little excessive. It's a little too strong, the regular one, compared to the white cheddar for that. But yeah. So, next topic, as I'm almost home. Another millennial question. How many of y'all love the Animaniacs cartoon? I have the DVD set floating around somewhere. And then how many of you remember the random little things in between episodes? Like, wheel of morality, turn, 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 teach us the lesson that we should learn, or however that went. I was sitting on lunch and I'm like, I'm gonna Google this. I want to know how many of them there are. Apparently there's only 6. It gave me 6, so I'm guessing there must have only been 6. Because I knew they did other things in between episodes aside from that. There was that stupid little kid, or was that on Tiny Toons? I don't even remember. There was a bunch of random little shit, but like, there were 6, and it listed them all, and I wrote them all down. And I do vaguely remember the on food one was never ask what's in a hot dog or something like that. Never ask the ingredients, or never ask what hot dogs are made of. And then one of the other ones was on success. If at first you don't succeed, blame your parents. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's messed up. But then it's like, at the time it was funny because we were just kids watching it. And I'm like, there should have been more of these, because I can think of a lot of topics to do this on. And I'm like, maybe I'll write my own. I'll use their topics, but write my own thing for it instead of, like, obviously copying theirs. And then I'll pick other topics and write either my opinions, thoughts. It kind of feels like it was just somebody's goofy opinion, but it was also true. And it's like, most people would say, just looking at it, oh, it's a stupid kid's show spin-off of Looney Tunes. But no, not really, because it did teach us some things. There was the dictionary song where he was reading through all the words of the dictionary. There was the state song. There was the one math song that they did. Actually, I think they did a couple different math songs. So there was actually, if you really look at it, compared to Looney Tunes, there actually was some educational stuff in Animaniacs. I think that was just them listing the words of the dictionary, but it was still like, it was still crazy, but like entertaining at the same time. And the only things Mom didn't want me to see was the great Wacko Roddy belching songs. I was like, yes, I'm an adult now. I own the set. I can watch it all. And it's funny, because as I was watching it, when we were in the apartments before we moved out here, the kid was watching it with me. And as we're watching through episodes, I'm realizing, I know who my spirit animal is now. It's not Brain. I don't want to take over the world. I could give a shit less. I could say Pinky because I'm a dork, but I'm not really that stupid, so no. I'm Slappy the squirrel. I'm legit Slappy. My spirit animal is fucking Slappy the squirrel. Because she's so grumpy, but when she's grumpy, she's funny. And I can definitely be funny grumpy. That's not hard. Oh no, not one of these metal plates. I hate those things. house, like, right fucking here. Ugh. Who wants a house off a main road? Y'all cray-cray. Y'all crazy for that shit. All that traffic. Yeah, fuck that. I mean, it's not as bad as some, but, like, having it off of a real highway, oof. I'd imagine how bad that would suck. But yeah, my spirit animal is now Slappy the squirrel. Like I said, I don't ever want a tattoo, but I'd get a Slappy the squirrel tattoo. Why not? Because I'm sure not many people have one. It'd be a character not a lot of people have as a tattoo. So at least it'd be different. I'd probably just get her face in a grumpy mood. That would be epic. That'd be funny as shit. Yeah. Skippy's funny though. He's cute. He's funny. I was like kind of just watching the squirrels on my back porch. It kind of reminds me of it. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.